Romeo Lavia is the next target for the Reds. According to the latest information, Liverpool increased their interest in Southampton's star candidate Romeo Lavia after signing two midfielders. The 19-year-old has performed impressively in the Premier League and has become one of the most talked about players. He was featured for the Saints amid relegation battles last season. The interest in Lavia shows how he stood out throughout the campaign in his first year at St Mary's Stadium after leaving Manchester City last summer. It seems almost certain that the Belgian, who earns £25,000 a week, will leave Southampton this summer. Some of the biggest clubs in the country, teams like Chelsea and Manchester United, are linked with a move for him. Liverpool also continue to look for midfield signings, with Alexis Mac Allister and Dominik Szoboszlai eyeing Lavia as well. Journalist Jacob Tanswell admitted that Liverpool are the team he thinks are most likely to sign Lavia before the start of next season. Southampton wants a high number for him. A team has to pay around £45 to £50 million for Lavia. Who can do that depends on all the other goals they achieve. Liverpool or Chelsea? I think probably Liverpool seems like a possible target, with Jürgen Klopp and the background work they've done on him, he said. It's certainly getting stronger that Lavia could be the third midfield signing that could represent an outstanding piece of a long-term job at Anfield this summer. He is only 19 years old, but plays with an intelligence beyond his years. Pep Guardiola has described him as incredible, which says a lot about what he can do going forward. Fabinho's downfall at number 6 could potentially lead to his replacement. Lavia is still pretty inexperienced, which could make someone like Kefren Thuram a better signature. According to Lavia, she is 3 years her senior and is a well-established senior player. However, early signs suggest that the Saints' youth could become one of the best players in Europe over time. That's why Liverpool want to make a move for him now if the chance arises. Last season, he averaged 2.1 fights per game in the Premier League. He also completed 86% of his passes and showed many aspects of his game. The old Manchester City product was in the top 12% of all midfielders in Europe's top 5 leagues last season, but in the bottom 21% for the chances created. This is almost the opposite of Szoboszlai, who was in the top 4% for the chances he created in his last season with Leipzig, but in the bottom 45% for the ownership he earned. Effectively, Lavia and Szoboszlai thrive in different areas, but both are of course very talented in their own right. Belgian player Lavia started 13 games last season as a defensive midfielder, while he started 13 games as a pure central midfielder. In contrast, 25 of Szoboszlai's starts last season came in the central offensive midfield, while he spanned multiple positions on the forward line. If Lavia brings some defensive steel and Szoboszlai some offensive threat, Mac Allister will act as the glue that holds the team together and helps keep the game going. He probably represents the perfect balance for any midfield trio. Described by Benji Nurick as an absolute beast for his performance against Manchester City in Southampton's 2-0 win in the EFL Cup quarter-finals last season, Lavia has shown that he can do more than hold back against any opponent. If Liverpool can get him to the lowest of Southampton's valuation, then they will have signed these 3 midfield gems for a total of £140 million. A few years from now, it can be seen in retrospect that a really good job was done. Mac Allister is 24, Dominik is 22, and Romeo Lavia is just 19 years old. If Lavia's services are also purchased, Liverpool's midfield average age will be 21.7. This may have been the beginning of a reign in the middle of the park at Anfield for many years to come. Liverpool will compete with Chelsea for the 21-year-old all-round ace. Liverpool are hoping to improve their defense department in the summer and have set Goncalo Inacio as a target. According to the latest news, Liverpool will face competition from Chelsea, who also want to bring in a central defender. The 21-year-old was a key player for Sporting last season and will be a long-term quality buy for the 2 Premier League clubs. The defender reportedly has a €45 million release clause in his contract, and it is not yet clear whether Sporting are ready to negotiate a reasonable price for him this summer. Given the fact that he is a key player for them, the Portuguese team can demand full payment of the release clause. Liverpool has already secured the services of Alexis Mac Allister and has announced the arrival of Dominik Szoboszlai. It is a fact that they have significantly strengthened the midfield. Now they can try to bring an upgrade to players like Joe Gomez and Joel Matip. Both players were pretty weak last season. Signing a quality defender like Inacio would greatly improve Liverpool. The 21-year-old can act as a central defender and a fullback. Its versatility will be an added bonus for the Premier League side. Liverpool is expected to add another signing to the midfield department, and we just announced the strongest candidate in our video. The Reds will then go into intense overtime for the defensive line. The talkSPORT expert fails to see the 24-year-old Liverpool man succeeding at Anfield. Tony Cascarino has admitted that he does not see Liverpool forward Darwin Nunez as successful at the club. Cascarino has commented on Liverpool's potential starting lineup for next season. Coach Jürgen Klopp has two new midfielders at his disposal. Alexis Mac Allister's mid-court versatility will likely be a valuable asset. The Reds finished off another big signing after activating Dominik Szoboszlai's release clause. The Hungarian player is an offensive playmaker who can play in the front three or an advanced midfielder role. Klopp has a lot of options right now and will spend the pre-season determining where each player sits in the pecking order. One of the players who should ensure his next season at Liverpool is successful is Darwin Nunez. The 24-year-old signed a contract from Benfica last summer for a hefty £85 million fee. Despite showing promise, the Uruguayan missed too many big chances. He had some effective performances from time to time, but most of the time he wasn't effective. Towards the end of the season, he had to settle down somewhere on the bench. Cascarino admitted he wasn't sure the future would work for the forward at Merseyside. Talking about the 24-year-old, Cascarino said, "Jürgen Klopp has seen a lot of offensive players come in over the past year, but I don't know about Darwin Nunez. He spent a whole year at Anfield and it just didn't work. He's had a disappointing year. It seems to me that he will be a Fernando Torres or Timo Werner. He's not going to convert the amount of chances he gets into goals," he said. If Cascarino is referring to Torres' time at Liverpool, Nunez certainly has a shot, but he's more likely to be talking about his magic at Stamford Bridge. It looks like Klopp will give Nunez every opportunity to succeed at Liverpool, especially because of the transfer fee. Its first 12 months have come under heavy criticism and many people will want to be proven wrong. However, the fact that Gakpo and Diogo Jota can play in his place will increase the pressure to lose his place unless he can put on an effective performance. Nunez has gone through the same career transformation with Benfica in the past. He tried to adapt in his first season but managed to become a goal machine in his second season. We will witness together whether he can show the same performance in the Reds.